Hi, welcome to my first official YouTube video. This is sartoriart. I have a pet portrait of a dog of a dear friend I know. She gave me some advice for car insurance during an incident I had, and I spent hours talking through everything that happened at the scenario, and in exchange I decided I would do a portrait of her dog. He is called King Koopa, apparently in their dog clan family. This was done on Procreate. I just recently got an iPad Air 2. I wanted something I could draw on but not spend the money as in the iPad Pro. I wanted to do the Procreate that seemed to be only an Apple app, and I'm really enjoying it so far. The brushes are very different than my Photoshop, but I've been managing to get through. It took me a long time to find fur equivalent brushes, and I think I have them set in a file now that I named Pet Portrait, and I'm going to use them for a while, and I'm tweaking them. Hopefully they'll be something I share in the future if I think they're worthy enough, but so far they're just the default brushes where I changed the settings just a little. But I would spend hours away from my husband on the desktop, hooked to Photoshop and a Huion tablet, and I would be in another room. There's no TV in my room where I work, and every now and then he would just come and chase me out with the guitar because he would be playing so loud and so heavy that I would eventually just get a headache. But you can see I tried to do the fur with the white overlay, and eventually that will be changed a little because I found a brush that suited the fur better. I had the base color wrong at first, so I had to change it into a more yellow-orange tint instead of brown, and it changed my perfect gray nose to have a yellow tint, and I tried to fix it, but I just had to give up at the moment, and instead I went straight into the bandana and started working through the details. And this part was so annoying, but it turned out so cool. I spent easily an hour just in the white detail here. And I'm sorry if you hear any birds. I had to move outside. My husband was yelling at the Xbox. It looked like he was playing Halo, but he was just dropping F-bombs 3 rooms away, and I could still hear it in my videos. But in the bandana, I figured out a few tricks that worked out pretty well. In the pattern, it was easier for me to paint one section white and go back in with an eraser to put in some of the details. Except for the stars, I had to make those big and zoom in. The swirl loops that kind of alternate, it was just easier to make a base shape, shrink them down, distort them, and just put it into a pattern to make it similar to what I was visually seeing. I think that worked out the easiest, but I think the bandana was actually more relaxing once I got going than at first, being so overwhelmingly different on detailed. So in the end, I'm pretty proud of it, and I'll go back in with the shading. I don't know if it was the setting I was working on for resolution, but I would work on a specific detail, and I did this for a while with the stars, and I wanted it to be a good shape, and then I would shrink it down, and then you could barely tell it was a star when you were zoomed in, but when you were zoomed out, you could tell, and oh, that aggravated the crap out of me, but I don't know how to change the setting midway on Procreate rather than when you first start, so for this drawing, I just kept going and working with the detail limitation. I'm usually used to being able to zoom in. I wish I could zoom in on certain spots for this video to show you closer where I'm at, but instead you have to watch it on the large screen. Sorry. My Splice app on the Apple Store, this is what it gave me. And if you have any new video editing apps or current old ones that work really good that are worth paying for, that would be great. I didn't want to pay for an app I never used before. A trick I really love to use on doing some fur detail is using the blending brush to kind of drag the shape in and out a little bit, the little curvatures of the fur. I don't know why, but the blending brush is always stuck with me. In the Procreate, you have to adjust which brush you want it to be. Usually if it's on a soft airsoft brush or just a hairline, anything super small, it will work. but it's one of my favorite tricks. But I'm at the point where I'm really adding in the fur detail, which is kind of hard at first because of the coloring, but it gets a lot easier. The stylus that I'm using isn't the Apple Pencil. Apparently that's only like an Apple Pro thing. But I'm using something called an adonit Pro 3. It doesn't have any sensitivity pressure at all. That really bummed me out, so I'm strictly working with the sizes that I modify, which is something new, but I'll definitely have gotten used to it. When I break the stylus, I plan to just upgrade to one with pressure. I know it sounds funny when you break the stylus, but I already dropped it on tile at work and it dented. The metal stylus dented a little, and I had to use a paper clip and bend it out a little bit, and then I had to use the rest of the cap because it has this magnetic cap where you have it on one end, you flip it around, and it automatically clicks to the back. I had to use it to widen the spot that it dented, and I'm just sitting there at lunch just bending this metal stylus so that it would work again. I was just really bummed out because I only dropped it once, but it was good enough to really dent it, so that stylus is not winning any points with me. No sensitivity and dents like crap. I mean, the magnet part's pretty cool, but I don't know how much I really needed that. And the funny thing is with this stylus, because it's different than all of the drawing styluses I've ever seen, it has this little flat plastic ball at the end. It gets stuck in my hair. I'll move it too close to my hair and it's very long, and then all of a sudden I'm stuck in a stylus. So definitely don't recommend it. It will work. I accidentally bought one that was like it. I should have done some more research, but I was so excited about getting this new iPad and made sure I got a stylus, and my bad. Oh man, this drawing looks so cute. I'm very proud of it. It looks so cute now. It just keeps getting cuter. But I don't know. I'm at the point where I'm working on an Apple iPad and a Windows computer. So hopefully I figure out how to integrate between both of the pieces of equipment, or I hope I'm not forced to get an Apple computer next, because I really do like some of the things Windows has to offer. But it did hit kind of a bad streak when it went to Windows 8 and then 10. It was so bumpy at first when they were rolling out those buttons, those tablet-like buttons, but it's gotten a lot better. But it made me feel like I had to relearn how to use a computer. More rockier start for the voice recording, but at least the speed painting from Procreate turned out really good. I had to slow it down just a little. I wanted to slow it down more, but I didn't want it to be a 15-minute video. On its own speed without changing it, it sat around 9 minutes, but the brush is everywhere, and I really wanted you guys to be able to see what I was doing and how I was doing it. You see some people, they record their screens. I don't know how to do that part yet, but where you can see what color they use from the color palette and what brushes. That seems really nice, and I'll have to check in on how to do that. That will be my next forthcoming goals. I don't know how long I'll be doing pet portraits, but I plan to keep doing them, even if it's 1 out of 3 every 3 to 4 weeks, just to kind of keep my skill up. Fur can actually be really hard. The first pet portrait I ever did looked so flat. I actually chose a random stranger on Reddit. On Reddit, under the Draw Me section. I wanted to draw someone, but then someone posted their cat, And I'm like, a cat? And everyone else was drawing the people in the comments, but they were ignoring the cat. And I'm like, well, this lady shouldn't be ignored. Let's draw her cat. And out of all that experience from drawing just that one pet portrait for a stranger, I realized I really enjoyed pet portraits of cats. And I shared it on Facebook, and I picked 5 of my closest friends that really wanted pictures of their cats, and I did it for free because I decided if I was going to get a base price and not even being for school for an artist, that I could do theirs for free, figure out my skill level. So I was basically practicing on my friends' pets, and then I could figure out my price from there. And it spent so much time, but I'm really proud I did it. I can proudly sell my portraits too. So I had some guinea pigs of cats, basically, and I think the hardest one I had was a bobcat mix when it had the different shades of colors, but they gave me some bad photo references, and originally when I made their cat, I did it like an orange brown, and it was gray and brown, but that wasn't my fault. That was the way they sent their photo. So I was matching the colors to their photos, and it taught me a valuable lesson that if I'm going to do it for clients, that I need to double check with the quality of the picture they send me, because I'm not going to redo someone else's photo color of their fur. It just takes too long, especially when you have to hand brush them all electronically, and then you adjust the layer, because you can do clipping, but my style is I do it on top of a layer with this color and on top of another layer, and then sometimes I'll just work on just 2 layers. I'll have one base layer and one top layer, and I feel like there's some shaded, I'll try to put it in a 3rd layer, but typically I only use 2 layers for fur, just because the details and the sizing and the color, and I've not been too great with layers. Gradually been getting better. So to recolor 2 layers was a nightmare. I had to basically start all over on the coloring. But yeah, this is my first official YouTube video. I have another one with a watercolor painting, but I was just struggling with the lighting, and it was very much a test. It was done at our old apartment, and now we live in a house, so that test is pretty much invalidated. I don't have the same lighting, I don't have the same setup. I have windows in very different places, and I have a yellow wall instead of a white wall. We wanted it to feel nice and warm in our hobby room. But let me know what you guys think. I think this turned out pretty good. And any suggestions on apps, I will definitely look forward to them. And yeah, this is me signing off. Enjoy your day.